Welcome to Melrose Unitarian Universalist Church. Our service today is RE Sunday. Good morning. I am Katie Campbell, the Director of Religious Education. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and today's service is all about celebrating our RE program. Reverend Suzanne is away today because her son Eli is graduating from Tufts this morning. Woo. All right, so there's going to be some people coming around in a moment passing out paper and markers and crayons because the kids would like you to create your version of the flaming chalice during the service today. There is a basket at the back for you to put your completed design, and we'll be putting them all together the next time we meet in RE. So if you don't get supplies, or if you want a different color than what gets handed to you, there's a whole box at the back, and you can get up at any time during the service to get the creative supplies that you would like. The RE committee is throwing an unbirthday party after worship today in Parish Hall. We hope you can all stay and join us. The anti-racism team invites you to a weekend-long learning experience called Jubilee 3. It's a whole weekend about the history of racism in the United States. Everything you didn't learn in school, but you need to know. It's happening here in October, but if you sign up by June 1st, you can get a big discount on the price. The ART wants to give the first 20 people who sign up $100 off their registration. The link is in the weekly email news. On Saturday, June 3rd, we'll have our restorative circle about the retreats and gender-based programming here at church. Everyone will have several chances to speak, everyone will be heard, and please do sign up for that so we can plan it well. Sign up is in the midweek update. Thank you to our helpers this morning, Usher Stacy Babb, greeter Patricia Ferris, and coffee hosts Michelle DeVoe and Paul Belfonte. Now, let's have a good look at our beloved community. Turn and say hi to all our church friends far and near. Turn and greet the folks here, and let's wave to our friends on Zoom. Hello, welcome. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Gail. All right. It's so great to see everyone. All right. I call us to worship this morning with the poem Invitation by Shel Silverstein. If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by the fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. And now we light the symbol of our faith, the flaming chalice. Here to light ours this morning and lead us in our RE chalice lighting words are Zura and Ethan.
I invite you now to rise in body or in spirit and join me in our chalice lighting words, which you can see on the screen. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are the Church of the open mind, the loving heart, and helping hands. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our time.
Please remain standing if you would and join us for our opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, which we sang every day at our summer program last August. It is number 361 in the gray hymnal, and the words are on the screen. be seated. Our story today is called Mullah Nasruddin Feeds His Coat. It's adapted from a Middle Eastern Islamic folk tale, which is attributed to different countries, including Turkey and Syria. Performing our story today is our Sunday morning crew of kindergarten through fifth graders, Ethan, Jude, Zura, Owen, Heather, Scarlett, and Phoebe.
It was almost sundown, and Nasruddin knew that he would soon be able to eat.
The wealthiest person in town had invited everybody to come and break their fast in her home. That evening, there was a huge feast. Nasruddin knew that he would be late if he went home to change his clothes. Before heading into town, he decided it was better to arrive in dirty clothes than to be late. Oh, what a party it would be, what a feast. As he walked to the wealthy person's home, Nasruddin imagined the delicious food. He would soon be eating dates, lentils, chickpeas, olives, and bread, hummus, falafel, chicken, and beef, the best of all, the desserts. Halva, date rolls, figs, and baklava.
When Nasruddin arrived, the wealthy person opened her door and looked at Nasruddin up and down scornfully from his worn, ragged clothes down to his muddy shoes. Without a word of welcome, she gestured for Nasruddin to come in and walked abruptly away.
Nasruddin joined the throngs of people who were all dressed in their finest clothing. The tables were laden with all sorts of delicious foods. Dates, lentils, and chickpeas, olives and bread, hummus, falafel, chicken and beef, the best of all the desserts. Halva, date rolls, figs, and baklava.
Despite his efforts to hurry, the seats were all taken and nobody tried to move over or make a space for Nasruddin. In fact, nobody offered him food. He had to reach over and around people to get any food for his plate. Nobody spoke to him. It was as if he wasn't even there.
The other guests ignored him so completely that Nasruddin could not enjoy the food on his plate, no matter how finely prepared or how tasty it was. In fact, after only a few bites, Nasruddin was so uncomfortable he decided to leave.
He hurried home and changed into his finest clothing, including a beautiful coat. Nasruddin returned to the feast. This time the host welcomed him with a huge smile. Come in, come in.
As Nasruddin entered, people waved and called from him from all corners of the room as they invited him to sit near and offered him food.
Nasruddin sat down quietly, picking up a plump fig. He carefully placed it into a coat pocket, saying, "Eat, eat, coat, eat."
As Nasruddin entered, people waved and called from him from all... He took a handful of nuts and put them in the pocket, saying,
"Eat, coat, eat." Now he began to feed his coat in the earnest, grabbing all sorts of foods.
He fed his coat lentils, chickpeas, olives, bread, hummus, falafel, chicken and beef, and the best of all, the desserts. Halva, dagels, figs, and baklava. Nasruddin became silent. They watched this strange behavior. Soon, everybody in the room was staring at Nasruddin. The host hurried over.
Nasruddin, whatever are you doing? Why are you feeding your coat in this manner?
Well, when I first came to this feast in my old farming clothes, I was not welcome. No one would speak with me, but when I changed into this coat, suddenly I was greeted warmly, so I realized it was not me that was welcomed at this party, but my clothing, and so I am feeding my coat.
And that's all!
All right. Thank you so much to our kids for their sharing of that story. And thank you all so much for your good listening. Every Sunday at the center of our service, we create together a time of quiet meditation, a time for each of us to connect again with our inner selves, our highest ideals, and our own individual sense of the divine, however it is we understand it. Let's begin this time by closing our eyes and breathing deeply. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your body relaxing, sinking into your seat. Breathe. In this meditation time, first we'll join together in our centering song. Then we sit for a few minutes of shared quiet. Then we will speak to one another of our joys and sorrows. And then I will lead an embodied prayer. Our worship themes for May are creativity and covenant. It's a time for us to renew our ties to one another and to the energy of life blooming all around us. Our centering song for May is To See the World in a Grain of Sand. Text by William Blake, music by our very own music director, Tom. Lyrics will appear on the screen. Remain seated and join in as you like. Let the song guide you gently into our shared silence.
Eternity
It is our tradition in worship to share with one another the milestones of our lives, our personal joys and sorrows. We speak and listen with care so that our sharing knits us together in love, in strength, in community. First, if folks on Zoom have a sorrow to share today, please type it into the chat box and I will read them aloud. And if folks here in the room have a sorrow to speak, you may come forward now.
Good morning. I'm Janice Bissix. This week, my husband Don had knee replacement surgery, and there were some unexpected complications, but he is now home and beginning his recovery.
Let us take a moment to hold this and all the sorrows that were unspoken together. May those who are hurting today know our love and support. May we reach out with kindness. Stacy will light this candle as a beacon of care for all the sorrows spoken and unspoken today. And now I ask for all the joys you'd like to share. Folks on Zoom can type them into the chat box, and I will read them aloud. Folks here in the room with a joy can come forward now.
My birthday is coming up really soon.
My birthday's in June, but we're going to have an early birthday party, and it's going to be a pool party.
Hi, I'm Liz. Last weekend we traveled to Chicago and celebrated my parents' 90th birthdays, which is a real gift.
Yesterday I had my ballet recital and I did really great and I got to take home a balloon.
Thank you for sharing these joys which help to connect us and remind us all of the beauty of living. And now we light one more candle to shine out our thanks for all the many blessings in our lives. At the request of the children for a movement activity, we will be moving our bodies a bit and an embodied prayer today. You may do this sitting or standing, whichever feels more comfortable to you. Just make sure that you have a bit of elbow room between you and your neighbors. I will demonstrate, then I will talk you through it, and then we will go through it together in silence 2 times. We are going to start with our hands down by our waist, palms open and facing up. Take a moment to center, breathe deeply, and open ourselves to the connection to this community and the divine. Then we are going to lift our arms up, ready to receive all the goodness this community and the universe has for us today. Then we will pull our arms in, gathering those messages and gifts and accepting them into our hearts. Finally, we will stretch out our arms, sending our gifts and love to our community, this world in need of healing, and back to the universe. Please follow along with me. I am connected to the universe. I allow the universe to speak to me. I accept those sacred gifts into my heart, and I send my love out to the world. Now 2 more times in silence.
This church is a self-supporting organization funded by your generous annual pledge. You may also contribute to our weekly collection plate, which we split every month with a deserving cause. Folks on Zoom can donate either way using the orange button at the top right corner of our homepage at melroseuu.org. For the month of May, in honor of Religious Education Sunday, this Sunday, May 21st, our high school youth group has chosen our giving partner. This month, City Reach, the program for the homeless on Boston Common, will receive half our collection plate. Our offertory selection today is called I Seek the Spirit of a Child. The tune is the Sussex Carol, a traditional English melody, and the words are by Carl Seberg.
I seek the spirit of a child who meets life naturally, a child who sings the world alive and brings the morning sun with glee. Children are real beyond all art. I seek the freedom of a child who loves instinctively, who lights our day with just a smile and shines that light on all we see. Children are real beyond our fears. I see hope's a gift to our tears. I seek the wonder of a child who sees delightfully. Now clouds in cloud, now golden sun, imagination true and free. Children are real beyond all lies. May I see faith's a gift to our eyes. May I see faith's a gift to our eyes.
Moment to acknowledge the OWL program. OWL stands for Our Whole Lives and is a comprehensive sexuality education program. It is a lifespan program with multiple levels going up to adults and elders. It is actually what brought me to Unitarian Universalism. I have been fortunate enough to be entrusted to facilitate this program with multiple groups of young people, and it was always a deeply rewarding experience. It is an incredibly valuable program that I would love to see us expand. It's not just about sex. It's about understanding our bodies, identifying our values, and learning how to use that knowledge to form a stronger relationship with ourselves and to forge healthy relationships of all kinds with others. This year, we had 2 separate groups complete the program, the middle and most intensive level of the program. 5 8th and 9th graders that started the program last spring, wrapped up in December, and 3 7th graders completed the program this year with some churches in Reading. I also want to lift up Michelle Aldrich and Jim Duncan for the time, energy, and dedication that they have given to make it possible to offer this program at our church. It is a truly priceless gift. Now, our high school youth are going to share their experience at City Reach, the homelessness outreach program in Boston, with you. They decided they would like to do it as a question and answer session, and I now pass it over to Molly, Maya, Adam, and Daniel.
Good morning. Our experience at City Reach at Common Cathedral was very informative, and it challenged a lot of stereotypes that we heard before about homelessness. During this time, we slept on the church floor and went on an intentional walk around Boston. This was a chance to see what it's like for homeless people living in Boston. We learned about different living styles and also got to interact with people who are currently homeless. Now I'd like to open the floor for questions.
So before you came, you probably had some conceptions about what it would be like. How did that change once you were there?
We see things like differently. There's like a lot of stigmas about homeless people and like that they get into like the streets because of like something that they did or some sort of addiction, but that's not true at all. Like anyone can become homeless for like a variety of different reasons.
I want to know what it was like for you to sleep on the floor and not in a bed.
It was pretty uncomfortable, and like when we were going home, we were just looking forward to sleeping in our own bed and showering, and it changes our perspective because we have that opportunity, but not a lot of people do. So we only experience that for one night, but some people experience that every day of their life.
So did you see a lot of kids? I mean, what sort of people were there? Was it mostly kids, mostly adults? What?
Most of the people we saw when we were doing the clothing drive were adults. We didn't see any kids, I don't think.
Do you think the organization that we're supporting is like really helping people that are in need?
From what we saw, I'd say so. There's a lot of clothing, like it was like surprising how much clothing there was. And like food, they provided meals for people who were homeless. It seemed to be like really caring and involved.
Yeah, there was a lot of support from many different churches, so I feel like Common Cathedral is very connected with churches around the greater Boston area and Massachusetts as a whole. So I feel like it's very good that we're interacting with them and helping them with their mission.
So after having had this experience, what do you think you'll do now?
That's been like the topic of the past couple of meetings. We definitely want to continue to support organizations like Common Cathedral, and we want to focus on the homelessness issue, and we'd like to return to City Reach in coming years.
Can you tell us about the clothing drive part of the weekend?
We had a lot of different clothes. There were suitcases and coats and blankets and just so much. And we spent a while organizing it inside the church. And then at some point in the morning, just a bunch of people came and they were looking for specific things and we helped them find it. And then some people were just looking for anything.
Did you gain an understanding of what people who are homeless do during the day? Do they go to specific neighborhoods? I know that some people in neighborhoods know the homeless people who return there every day and get to know them. And I was wondering if you had any idea of what they do when they're not at the shelter.
Yeah, we learned just how hard it is being homeless, and having a community is very important. So some of those people do look to find an area where they can settle in, and they're able to be with people and be around people to feel safe and feel connected. We also learned about how hard and lonely it can be, where sometimes they have to go all the way across Boston to get a shower or even go to the bathroom. So yeah, I think it's very important that people find a place to settle in, and that's a tough part of being homeless.
Also, on our walk, we saw a bunch of different situations, from people with tent setups to people with blankets to people just sleeping on the side of the road, and there's definitely a spectrum of what people are able to do homeless. But our tour guide Chet also told us that like Daniel said, there's shelters, but oftentimes they're across the city.
I was wondering if you got any sense of whether or not they're able to help each other with one thing or another. Anybody see any of that?
Well, we didn't see too much of that, but at the Common Cathedral specifically, there were homeless people who didn't have much, who were on the streets, and they were in the Common Cathedral and helping with the program at City Reach. They were, giving what they had. They were giving their time to be there and to support people and to support other homeless people that are struggling just as much as they are, but they're still out there and they're still doing a great job. So,
did you get an understanding about why people might live in an encampment rather than stay at a shelter? I'm sure it's a complicated answer.
I think a lot of it is some people, due to what their past looks like, might have more of a difficult time asking for help which can be a really hard thing. Like going out of your way to ask for the help you need. Some people just aren't ready for that.
Okay. Any last questions for the kids before we wrap up?
So like I said before, moving forward, we want to continue to support City Reach. And like, if we want to make change, we see that like it's important to focus on this issue of homelessness.
Thank you guys very much.
Great. Thank you so much to the youth for sharing their experiences. It takes a lot, the work of many people, to make our RE program possible. People in the nursery that make sure that it is open and available for any new families with young children that visit us. People who give their Sunday mornings and more to preparing and leading fun, creative activities that teach about our values to our kindergarten to 6th grade cohort. The 2 high school youth group advisors that have shown up for our group all year and made our City Reach trip possible. The RE committee who put in a lot of work behind the scenes, pitch in when extra help is needed, and have planned fun events for our whole community, like the Halloween party back in the fall and the unbirthday party happening after church today. Plus our OWL facilitators, everyone who contributed to the summer program, and countless other ways that folks in this congregation show their support of the program. I sincerely thank you. I would also like to give the congregation the opportunity to thank the people who have generously given their time and talents to work directly with our children and youth and plan our programming this year. If you have volunteered in our RE program this year, please stand up so that we can give you our recognition and gratitude. Thank you so much for all you do, and I have small tokens of appreciation for you after the service. All right, please rise in body or in spirit and join in our closing hymn chosen by our youth, Fire of Commitment, number 1028 in the teal hymnal.
Hearts and seas.
Please remain standing and join me for the closing ritual we use down in RE. First, extinguishing the chalice, and then Heather will lead us in additional closing words. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are thankful.
We are thankful.
We are thankful to be here.
We are thankful to be here.
We are thankful to be here together.
We are thankful to be here together.
We are thankful to be here together now.
We are thankful to be here together now. Our service has ended. Please enjoy a brief postlude from Tom before our gathering for our unbirthday party in Parish Hall. Friends on Zoom, if you'd like to stay for a chat, click to join a breakout room. Thank you for worshiping with us today. Happy Sunday.